Hey guys, Rhett here. The example I have for you today is finding the inverse from this exponential function and then sketching the inverse. So what we have here is f such that r maps onto r. F of x is equal to 4e to the 2x minus 2. So this is my exponential function. I've quickly noted in my domain and range table over here on the right, the domain of f of x is all real numbers, and the range spans from -2 to infinity, not including -2 and infinity. Now, in order to find the domain and range for the inverse, we simply swap them. So we've got -2 to infinity here as a domain of the inverse, and the range of the inverse is all real numbers. Over on the next page here, I've plotted f of x is equal to 4e to the 2x minus 2, and its asymptote down at the bottom there, y equals -2. So it's our job now to find the x and y intercepts as key points on this graph. I'll just note here as well that this function, it's a one-to-one function, so it passes the vertical line test. So any vertical line that I was to draw anywhere along these axes would hit the graph at most once. And it also passes the horizontal line test. So any horizontal line I was to draw on the axes hits the graph at most once. So the conclusion of those tests is that this function is one-to-one and its inverse exists. Okay, so let's find the y-intercept. For the y-inter, I let x equal to 0. F of 0 is equal to 4. E to the power of 0 is just 1. So 4 minus 2, that gives me 2. So 0, 2 is my y-intercept. My x-intercept, I'm going to let y equal to 0. So I will have 0 equals 4 e to the 2x minus 2. I'm going to add the 2 and then divide the 4. E to the 2x is equal to 1/2. Taking natural logs on both sides, 2x is equal to ln 1/2. Therefore, x is equal to 1/2 ln half. So that gives me the intercept in its exact form, 1/2 ln 1/2, comma 0. Now you can punch that into the calculator and you'll find that as an approximate value, -0.347, 0. Okay, so I have the y-intercept, the x-intercept, and the asymptote for this graph is that y equals -2. So that's everything I need for the exponential graph. Now to find the equation of the inverse, I'm going to swap x and y in the initial equation, and then I'm going to rearrange or solve the equation to get y on its own. So I'm going to have x is equal to 4e to the 2y minus 2. So compared to the initial, I've just swapped the x and y. Now I'm going to add 2 onto the left and divide by 4. So e to the 2y is equal to x plus 2 divided by 4. Then taking the natural logarithm of both sides and then dividing the 2 underneath. Y is equal to 1/2 ln x plus 2 over 4. So therefore, the equation of my inverse, f -1 of x, is equal to 1/2 ln x plus 2 over 4. Key things to find on this graph, again, the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, I'll let x equal to 0. Inverse when x equals to 0 is equal to 1/2 ln a half. So that's 0, 1/2 ln half. From earlier, that approximates as negative 0.347. And the x-intercept, y equals to 0, ln of x plus 2 over 4 equals to 0. I've divided that half away. X plus 2 over 4 is equal to e to the power of 0, which is just 1. So it's rearranged the log, which then gives me x equals 2. So I have an x-intercept here at 2, 0. And the last thing here for the inverse, its asymptote is when x equals -2. So that essentially makes that the log here 0, which is undefined. Okay, so switching back over to my graph here. So here in green is the exponential graph with its intercepts here, y-intercept at 0, 2, and x-intercept at -0.347, 0. And I'm now going to plot on the line y equals x here, shown in pink. To visualize the inverse, imagine holding a mirror on the line y equals x. What would you see in the mirror? And that is the blue graph here with its asymptote here at x equals -2. And the last thing to note, this y-intercept at 0, 2 has now become this x-intercept at 2, 0. The x-intercept here at -0.347 has become the inverse's y-intercept at 0, -0.347. The two lines intersect one another on the line y equals x. So here, which if you solve in your calculator is -0.49, -0.49, this point, and the other point down here is -1.91, -1.91. That's all for this video, guys. Feel free to like and subscribe, and as always, good luck with methods.